Hello, Mac Warehouse. This is Jennifer.
This is Rosemary. This is Lucy. This is Donna. How may I help you?
You want the 1 meg SIMMs by Samsung?
Would there be anything else?
We can ship that out airborne. You'll receive it first thing tomorrow.
Congratulations, you're about to install one of the most powerful tools you can buy for your Mac. This pair of single inline memory modules, or SIMMs, can process 2 million bytes of information. That's more brain power for your computer. Extra memory the Sports Marketing Group is using to produce 20 magazines a year. Everything from pictures to print is done on the Macintosh.
The 8 megs installed in our computers allow us to run Quark Express, Adobe Illustrator, and Microsoft Word while printing to our Linotronic 300.
If SIMMs can have this kind of impact at a large corporation, just imagine what they can do for you at home.
Well, I've upgraded to 5 megabytes of memory, which allows me to use HyperCard properly, which before, with only 1 meg, I couldn't use.
It only takes about a half an hour to install SIMM, so let's get started. The first thing you need to do is prepare your work area. You need a large flat surface and a pad or some type of cushioning for your computer. A towel will work just fine. As for tools, I'll be using a size T15 torque-compatible wrench, a butterfly tool to pry the case apart. If you don't have one, a ruler will serve, and a grounding strap. This kit is inexpensive and available through Mac Warehouse. You'll also need wire cutters. A Phillips head screwdriver is the only tool you'll need to work on the Mac 2 series. And of course you need your SIMMs. Leave them in their anti-static wrapper until you're ready to install them. Installing SIMMs is a delicate operation. Static electricity can damage your SIMMs and the microchips inside your Mac, so you need to wear a grounding strap. Simply put the strap around your wrist and plug your grounding strap into the socket of the computer's power cable. The wrist strap will remind you to remove your jewelry. Watches and rings can pick up a static charge. Now you're ready to shut down your computer and SCSI devices and to disconnect all the cables, including your keyboard, mouse, modem, and so on. For owners of the SE, SE30, and Plus, opening the Mac is half the battle. Place your computer face down on a cushioned surface. Use your torque-compatible wrench to remove the 4 screws. 2 are on the back casing. The other 2 are hidden deep inside the handle. On the Mac Plus, there's a 5th screw inside the battery compartment. Now take your butterfly tool or ruler and pry the 2 halves of your computer apart. Be careful not to use too much force. Be patient and work your way around the case until it comes apart easily. Tilt your computer forward and slide the casing back and off. Next, remove the RFI shield from the bottom of the computer. Now that we're inside the computer, a note of caution. The video tube and the analog board retain high voltage charges. Never, I repeat, never touch them. You can hurt yourself and damage your computer. That means you need to work slowly and gently when disconnecting your internal disk drives. Grab the flat ribbon cables at the base and slowly wiggle them out. The power supply cable is the most difficult. Press the plastic tab, you'll hear a pop. Then pull it straight up. Be patient. This could take 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want to apply too much force because you're working right under the video tube. If you slip and crack the video tube, it will implode. On the SE and the SE30, you'll also need to disconnect the speaker cable. Turn your computer face down. Pull the motherboard up so that the cutouts align with the metal brackets on the chassis. Slide the motherboard out. Pull out the speaker cable, and if you have an expansion card installed, now is the time to remove it. The Mac 2 family is a lot easier to open. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the screw holding the cover in place. Push the latches and remove the cover. For the 2CX, that's all there is to it. For the Mac 2 and 2X, you'll also need to remove the internal hard disk drive. Remove the 4 screws holding the disk drive platform in place and lift the drive out of the case. Have a friend hold it while you unplug the cables for the floppy and hard drives. Now you're ready to remove the old SIMMs and install the new. Removing them is fairly simple. Using a screwdriver or your fingers, gently pull the plastic tabs away from each end of the SIMM. Then move it forward and lift it straight out of its slot. To install your new SIMM, hold it over the appropriate slot with the chips towards you and the connector on the bottom. Press it down into the slot, align the contacts, then swing it back until you hear it snap into place. If you're working on an SE, your motherboard will tell you where to install your new SIMMs. Arrange your computer so that you're looking at the motherboard with the expansion slot closest to your body, the ports to your right, and the SIMMs to your left. First, look for the R35 resistor. It's located to the right of SIMM number 1. Next, look for a jumper, a small black plastic part sticking up in the air. If you have one, you'll find it right next to the R35 resistor. The jumper and the resistor will tell you where to install your SIMMs. If you just have the R35 resistor and no jumper, your 1 meg SIMMs will go into slots 1 and 2. You will move your 256K chips into slots 3 and 4, then you'll clip the R35 resistor. A lot of people have trouble with this, but it's really very simple. Take your wire cutters, clip the R35 resistor, and bend the wire up. If you have a jumper and a resistor, or a jumper by itself, put your 1 meg SIMMs in slots 3 and 4 and remove the plastic sleeve from the jumper. You do not clip the resistor. On the Mac Plus, it's the R8 resistor you need to be concerned with. It's located on the top edge of the motherboard. Cut the R8 resistor, bend the wire up, then put your 1 meg SIMMs in slots 1 and 2. On the SE30, there are no resistors to cut. Just put your SIMMs in slots 1 through 4. The same is true for the Mac 2 series. New SIMMs in slots 1 through 4, no resistors to cut. You're almost done. Close the computer by reversing the steps you used to open it. Macintosh has expanded its family. They've added the SI, the LC, and the Classic. And we've added Daryl. She'll help you install extra memory into these new computers, as well as into the LaserWriter NTX.
Let's get started. Remember, your jewelry can pick up a static charge, so you'll want to take off any watches, bracelets, or rings. And don't forget to wear your grounding strap. It plugs into the socket of your computer's power cable. That plugs into the outlet. We'll begin with the SI. First, use your Phillips head screwdriver to remove the 1 screw on the back of the computer. Then simply pop the top and lift it off. If the back of the computer is closest to you, you'll see the 4 slots for SIMMs on your right. This computer already has 4 1 meg SIMMs installed. An additional 1 meg of memory is soldered onto the motherboard, giving us a total of 5 megs of memory. We'll be installing 4 2 meg SIMMs, upgrading to 9 megs of memory. You can also install 4 4 meg SIMMs, giving you 17 megs of memory. The process is the same no matter the size of the SIMM. First, remove the old SIMMs. On both ends of the SIMM, you'll see a metal clip. Pull them gently back. It may help to use a small flathead screwdriver. Then push the SIMM with your finger. It lifts right out. 2. 3 and 4. Now you're ready to install your new SIMMs. Take them out of their anti-static wrapper. Hold the SIMM with the silver contacts on the bottom. It doesn't matter which slot you start with. Just gently press it down into any of the 4 slots. Then push it forward until it's upright. Install all 4 this way. 2, then the 3rd one, And the last one. We're going to move the SI to the side for the moment and work on the LC. It's very similar. Again, there's only one screw on the back of the case. Remove it with a Phillips head screwdriver. Then simply pop off the top. If the back of the computer is closest to you, then the SIMMs will be on your left. This computer already has two 1 meg SIMMs installed. The LC comes with 2 megs of memory soldered onto the motherboard, so here we already have 4 megs of memory. We'll be installing two 2 meg SIMMs, upgrading the LC to 6 megs of memory. You may also install two 4 meg SIMMs to upgrade to 10 megs of memory. To take out the old SIMMs, find the small plastic tabs on each end of the SIMM. Use your fingers to pull the tabs away from the SIMM. Then with your thumb, push the SIMM forward and lift it out. Take out both this way. Hold your new SIMM with the contacts on the bottom. Place it in the slot at a 45-degree angle. Gently press down and rotate it forward. You'll hear it click into place. Repeat the same procedure with the second SIMM. The LC and the SI close the same way. Just pop the top back on and replace the screw. The Mac Classic is quite different from the SI and the LC. For this, you'll need your toolkit and a soft surface. Place your computer face down. Use your torque-compatible wrench to remove the 2 screws on the bottom of the computer. The other 2 screws are harder to find. They're hidden underneath the handle. Unscrew them. Then tip the machine back so the screws roll out. Next, take your case spreader. Plug it into the groove on top of the computer. Squeeze once, then again on each side. Tilt the computer forward and slide the case off. I want to take a moment here to point out once again the video tube and the analog board. They are now exposed. You must be careful not to touch them. They retain high voltage charges. If you mistakenly slip and touch them, you can hurt yourself and your computer. So pay attention to this warning and please be careful. The Mac Classic comes with 1 meg of memory. In order to upgrade to 2 megs, you must install an expansion card like this. You can buy it through Mac Warehouse. In order to upgrade to 4 megs of memory, you must install two 1 meg SIMMs onto the expansion card. If when you open your Mac Classic you see an expansion card already installed, you must remove it. To take the card out, gently wiggle it from side to side. Be patient, it may take a while. Eventually it will loosen and pull out easily. To install SIMMs onto the card, simply hold the SIMM with the contacts down. Place it into the slot, press it back. Do the same with the second SIMM. Now situate the card so that the SIMMs are on top. Look in the bottom right-hand corner. You see a black sleeve. It's called a jumper. It should be in the SIMM's not installed position. Remove the jumper and place it in the SIMM's installed position. Then look to the left side of your computer near the floppy and hard drives. You'll see a metal guide. Put the ends of the expansion card through the metal guide and plug the card into its port. You may need to wiggle it just a bit to get it into place. To close your computer, place it face down. Slide the case on so that it clicks into place. Then replace the 2 black screws on the bottom of the case. The silver screws go underneath the handle. No matter which model you have, your computer will tell you if you've done the job correctly. Call up the Finder box under the Apple menu. It will tell you how much memory you've installed. If you get a sad Mac, don't panic. Just reopen the computer and check to make sure the SIMMs are seated properly in their slots. Congratulations, you've upgraded your Mac. Now how about boosting the memory of your printer? I'm going to show you how to install SIMMs in your LaserWriter NTX. These are special SIMMs designed specifically for the NTX. You cannot take SIMMs out of your computer and put them in your printer. To open the LaserWriter, remove the 2 screws on the back of the printer. Then simply slide out the tray. On your right, you'll see 3 banks of SIMMs, each with 4 slots. Not all the banks must be filled with SIMMs. For example, on this printer, banks A and B are filled with 256K SIMMs. Bank C is empty. That gives us a total of 2 megs of memory. We'll be upgrading to 5 megs. That means our 1 meg SIMMs will go into bank A, 256K SIMMs will go into bank B, bank C remains empty. Here are some other common combinations. For 8 megs of memory, fill banks A and B with 1 meg SIMMs, leave bank C empty. For 9 megs of memory, put your 1 meg SIMMs into banks A and B and your 256K SIMMs into bank C. For 12 megs of memory, put 1 meg SIMMs into banks A, B, and C. You install these SIMMs exactly as you did in your computer. Hold the SIMM with the contacts on the bottom. Press it into the slot and rotate it forward. Repeat this step for each SIMM. To close the printer, just slide the tray in and replace the 2 screws. Like the computer, the LaserWriter will tell you if you've successfully upgraded its memory. Turn on the printer. Give it about a minute. It will automatically print out a test page which will tell you how much memory is installed. If there's a problem, simply reopen the printer and check to make sure you've installed the SIMMs correctly. That's it. You've successfully boosted the memory of your printer, allowing the NTX to process information faster, allowing you to be more efficient.